Big arrow formation with a coloured smoke on and hopefully pulling up into a loop. See another loop with some really quite extraordinary formation changes because, well, it's difficult enough, I imagine, to change formation during an aerobatic manoeuvre, but they're going to change from a very tight formation into a very wide one and then collapse into a tight one again, which is something that I don't think you really see from any other aerobatic teams.
Resist but hit the slow-mo button, so now shooting in 150 frames to get some really nice slow-mo bits that we can use after the show.
Coloured smoke about to come on again over the top. Fantastic against this blue sky. And collapsing back into penta formation at the end. That's such a lovely colour of aircraft in these sorts of conditions. Bright
really
yellow.
Is a little like the Belgian F-16, which we're looking forward to seeing as well. You know, a dark aeroplane on this sky. Adam and I both very nerdy about the way that aircraft look against the sky when it comes to video. It can get quite frustrating filming grey aeroplanes on grey skies, so this is a real treat. So
3 formation changes coming up in quick succession now. In fact, the first has just occurred into diamond formation, and they'll enter a 360-degree turn with those 2 remaining formation changes during the turn. So out again into a very wide formation shape, the widest of them all. This is Albatross. The coloured smoke about to come on again. And then the smoke will go off and they will collapse into Eagle formation, which represents the aircraft that they fly, the T-50B Golden Eagle.
Give you some idea of how wide they are. That's as wide as I can go on this lens. Oh no, I take it back. I've got a little bit more. Spreading themselves really nice and widely, very quickly as well.
Yes, they are remarkably fast formation changes. Yet another change there, back into, is that big arrow again? I don't have that noted down.
It's an opportunity for me to say that the team themselves will no doubt provide us commentary over the weekend. And
yes.
Of course, Ben Donnell and Mark Munwaring will take us through the weekend proper, but I don't know about you, but I think Adam's done a decent amount of research here, so grateful for a little bit of information about what we're seeing.
Well, a barrel roll next in victory formation. first section of the display, the section where all 8 aircraft perform these graceful formation manoeuvres. Penultimate manoeuvre of this part of the display now. We'll see them spread out into another very wide formation and then come past us in a straight and level fly past before turning the smoke off and doing simultaneous aileron rolls. And after they've done that, there'll be another impressive formation change with the 2 outside aircraft pitching up into rollbacks. And then the team will pull up into a very graceful wing over in canard formation. But here come the simultaneous rolls. And this is where things start to get really interesting. They'll swap back into penta formation and then pull up into a quarter clover to start the second part of the display with perhaps their most famous manoeuvre of all, other than the tiger coming up later on where they draw the Korean flag in the sky. But this is very photogenic. It is the rainfall manoeuvre.
Take 2, Andy.
The smoke about to come on. And now we look out to the left and the right, 2 aircraft on either side, converging on show centre. I'm sure you can see what sort of manoeuvre is developing here, a 2 versus 2 opposition pass, which they call the scissor cross. Next for a new manoeuvre, and one of the most impressive manoeuvres of the display. This is my favourite coming up. So left 45 for a 4-ship coming in. They're in card formation at the moment. And they're about to roll across each other. There they go, swapping into an echelon formation. And they call that Vortex. Soloists from the left and right now. And they'll present a pair of opposition passes. And now we're looking for a soloist approaching from the right. And a formation of 5 aircraft on the left, and this will be for the goose. aircraft approaching from the front now. And this is a manoeuvre that we in the UK are very familiar with. Famous Red Arrows manoeuvre. As two aircraft pitch up straight in front of us. And in this lovely blue sky, they should be drawing a heart. Third aircraft dives in to complete the heart, we continue looking straight ahead because running in already is the 5-ship formation coming straight towards us for an upwards bomb burst called the Orchid. Going on, there was a very impressive rejoin taking place because out to the right, the two aircraft that just drew that heart have already formed up with each other. And we'll be seeing a demonstration of the two extremes of the T-50's flight envelope here. Two aircraft that just drew the heart, doing some very slow high alpha flight, and then approaching high behind them. Approaching high behind them is the aircraft that just drew the spear through that heart, and he is going to cross between the middle of them and then fly a loop before crossing them again. We have a very familiar Red Arrows manoeuvre once again, but performed with quite different character as 5 aircraft approach to fly some absolutely gorgeous rollbacks. The two groups of aircraft rolling concurrently. That's very dynamic, and now they'll form up in a line abreast formation for a loop on full afterburner. Coming in from the right, the soloist for a sneak pass as the main formation exits the loop. The Tiger, where 2 aircraft draw the symbol from the Korean national flag in the sky. We've come to that point in the display now. They are high up above us, starting to create the shape of a large circle, and one of them about to break away and create that Tiger shape. Absolutely original to the Black Eagles, an extraordinary piece of sky art. instantaneous round of applause from the Freat enclosure there. But there's plenty more to come. And we've got another new manoeuvre coming up next, which I think will begin in front of us. We'll see a 7-ship formation pulling up into a loop. They're dead in front of us at the moment. They'll pitch up into a loop and then split on the way up, departing in 2 different directions as a 2-ship and a 4-ship, and then cross again on the way down. The next 2 aircraft will be approaching from the left for another new manoeuvre. This is a manoeuvre called rock and roll. The aircraft at the front will perform a slow roll down the crowd line. The one behind him will barrel roll around his smoke trail, and then just as they exit the show line and you think the manoeuvre is over, they'll split in opposite directions in what's called the cross break. On the left 45, 2 more aircraft are approaching. One of them is about to roll inverted very rapidly, and then they'll do an inside-outside turn, one of them pulling positive G, one pushing negative G, before they exit on the right 45. Displaying a lovely echelon formation for us, almost hiding the 3 wingmen behind the leader. And as they depart, the next group of aircraft is running in beneath them from the right. One of them about to roll inverted, another one flying close formation with the inverted aircraft, and the remaining 2 barrel rolling around their smoke trail. This is the double helix. Now, back to the right, we have those other 4 aircraft running in, and this is for the last of the new manoeuvres, and they'll be taking centre stage for a little while now as they perform a series of turns and formation changes known as the Eagle Snatch. They'll start off in line astern and perform a barrel roll, and just as the nose lights come towards us, there'll be a very dramatic formation change as the 2 wingmen move out to the sides of the formation. So here comes that formation change now. And they will turn back towards us again forming up into that tight line astern formation for a second time. And once again, as the nose lights come towards us, this time with coloured smoke on, they will split apart back into that wide box formation. Next manoeuvre about to start from show centre, and this, like the rainfall break earlier, is another classic Black Eagles manoeuvre. Just looking out for them in the cloud, difficult to spot before they've put the smoke on. Here they are. 2 aircraft barrel rolling around the formation, and now they're going to split in a manoeuvre they call the dizzying break. So we're coming towards the end now, a couple more manoeuvres to go though, and the next one will start on the left 45, 4 aircraft running in line astern. They will pull up to 45 degrees and then at roughly half-second intervals roll away, but it looks like they're going round one more time before they do run into the display area. I do wonder if that might be all that we're getting, because it looks like they are all forming up. But we got nearly a full display, and perhaps they used up a fair amount of their smoke and fuel doing those sight recce passes before they began. Maybe we'll get one final break for them, a landing break at the very least. What impresses me most about that, and I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it, Ian, but it's a display of such incredible variety. Every manoeuvre that you can possibly do, a bomb burst going up, a bomb burst going down, an opposition break, it's all in there.
And some of them in all one phase of the display. You know, you had that 4-ship there conducting a few manoeuvres, and then I was reflecting as they levelled out and performed a simultaneous aileron roll.
Yes.
Another display team might have called that, straight and level, right to left, and performed that manoeuvre as the dramatic manoeuvre that it is. But for these, it's just the final flourish.
Yes.
The
Yes.
previous minute's worth of the display. I think it's an astonishing display. I really do. It's helped by the aircraft's capability.
Well, and this is something else that impresses me: the complexity of organising the smoke. Because it's not even as simple as, like the Red Arrows, juggling how much smoke you're using. They've also got to make sure that they're not using any coloured smoke any time around the afterburner being used, because the dye burns in the afterburner trail. It's why you don't see many afterburning jets with coloured smoke, and it can create this sort of nasty brown line which they want to avoid. So there's a lot to consider with their smoke, as well as the display and the choreography of the flying itself.
Well, that is clearly the other aspect of this, the capability of the aircraft, but clearly an astonishingly well drilled display. Very impressive.
I think I know what's about to happen here, and I'm very, very excited by it. We're about to get a manoeuvre that I wasn't sure we would see in the UK. This is their very impressive landing brake for when the cloud level permits. They call it the Typhoon brake. It's a bit like rainfall earlier, but just wait and see what happens as these 8 aircraft exit the manoeuvre on the downline. And I bet you've never seen anything like that before. I certainly haven't. What a way to get 8 aircraft into the landing pad. And there they all are, queuing up to land straight after that. That is phenomenal.
Where I say I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. That if you did enjoy it, that was our rehearsal, ladies and gents. So do join us for the weekend when we're a bit more well versed.
Yeah.
Although of course Adam is well versed in the display, as you can tell.
There's still 2 or 3 spectacular manoeuvres that we are yet to see. So you'll have to join us for the weekend to watch the full show.
And we're expecting, similar weather conditions as well. So we are, that can often limit what a display team is able to do. Lower cloud, meaning some of those higher manoeuvres wouldn't be possible. But with the forecast as it is, I think we're looking at quite a show. A nice high alpha on landing rollout, saving the brakes, using aerodynamic forces on the aircraft to slow down. Quite large flaps as well on these aeroplanes, air brakes as well at the back. They don't have a parachute, do they?
I don't think so. No, I'm pretty sure they don't. I can't see anywhere that a parachute would emerge from. But I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was
spectacular. I hope everyone at home did too.
Because when I was younger, it was these guys that I was seeing rather than the Red Arrows, because that's where I lived, and I was seeing them at almost every major show I did. And I knew they were good, but I didn't appreciate quite how good, when it's all you know. But it's been about 5 years, well, it's been just over 5 years since I last saw them, so I've been waiting for that for quite some time. Do you have any idea what's happening next?
No, not sure what's happening next, but I just want to see that again, please. That was wonderful. And a spontaneous round of applause from Freat. Now, I don't recall hearing that before.
They did it during the Taiguk as well, and yeah, they're not an easy group to get applauding, are they? Because they're so seasoned. No, well, they're here year in, year out, and often at many other shows as well. There's not much that they haven't seen.
And if you're unfamiliar with Freat, so that's the Friends of the Royal International Air Tattoo, the die-hard fans of the event, and their enclosure is just to our left there, and we can hear them clapping very loudly as the aircraft rolled out there. They're clearly very impressed by the display, as were Adam and I.
Yeah.